Do you want to follow the Mediterranean diet, but you're just too busy? In this video, I'll tell you how I make it work for myself as a busy doctor. And stay tuned to the end where I give you my favorite tip for how you can also save money. Hey, I'm Dr. Anna. I'm a medical doctor. I was trained in Italy. And on this channel, you're gonna learn how to master your health with the Mediterranean diet. So it's a bit ironic talking about speed with the Mediterranean diet, and that's because this diet is famous for having these slow social meals. But this is the modern world. This isn't the days anymore where we're living on an isolated island in Greece and the ships are coming to bring in the food from the town over. We are busy. We are balancing lots of things. Often we have jobs or we're in school and we might have families that we're supporting, and it's just a lot of pressure. So taking care of ourselves sometimes gets pushed to the bottom of the to-do list. Now, following any eating pattern really starts at the grocery shopping stage. And to do that effectively, I'd argue that the best way to set yourself up for success is to make a list. This is something that's gonna help you stay on track, buy the foods you really want that your body needs, and save a lot of time. So here's how I make my grocery list in 3 simple steps that will help you be efficient and save a lot of time at the grocery shopping stage. Step number 1, I always keep a note in my phone with a checklist that I can quickly edit on the fly. I used to enjoy writing my grocery list out with pen and paper, but honestly, as phones developed and we use them for so many more things today than just calls and texts, it started to become really inefficient. I know my phone's always gonna be with me, and then when I think about something that, oh, I don't wanna forget to buy this at the grocery store, I can quickly jot it down. Now, some people like to use food tracking apps to put their grocery list right inside, and that's great. If you're somebody who's comfortable doing that and that's your routine, I definitely suggest you keep going. But for those of you who really don't have a flow yet, definitely start with a simple way, such as a note in your phone, blank, that you can just put a little checklist. Now, a pro tip here, a way I recommend structuring your list is in the order in which you're going to find those foods in your local grocery store. So you're gonna know the layout of your grocery store best. The best thing to do is to put the foods in the list in order of you going from start to finish through your grocery store. This is gonna save you massive time. Number 2, I run through my checklist by the broad categories of food that covers all the basic nutrition I know my body needs. Part of this is understanding a little bit about nutrition. Something I like to think about is having a healthy trifecta anytime I prepare a meal. So that's having enough fiber, healthy fat, and protein. And hey, subscribe if you're finding this video useful so far. Okay, step number 3. This is how I save myself a lot of time when making my grocery shopping list so that at the grocery store, I'm really speedy. And this is to separate my forever foods, my staple foods on my grocery list that I always want to have in my kitchen, from my just this time foods. Here's what I mean. In the Mediterranean diet, there are certain foods that are absolutely an essential part of this diet, and these are the plant-based foods. So these are going to be our vegetables, fruits, whole grains, nuts and seeds, and legumes. These are foods that I always want to have on stock. It's easy to cook with these things because they're so versatile. Now, often something like an olive oil, a peanut butter, or dried goods like rice or dried beans are things that you can buy in bulk. So they're definitely going to last a long time in your kitchen, and you're not going to have to rebuy them every time you go to the grocery store. For example, I usually buy tea and coffee in bulk. This not only saves on money, but it saves me time later because I don't have to rebuy it every time. Now, what did I mean by only this round of foods? Well, I'm a true believer in balance and sustainability when it comes to healthy eating. Now, this can be tricky for some folks who really need that out of sight, out of mind principle when it comes to some of our junk foods like chips, cookies, or ice cream. But at the same time, we really don't want to overly restrict ourselves and build up so that we're having cravings and we binge on these things the next time we come into contact with them. So my rule of thumb is this: I always add 1 item to my grocery list that's sort of a just for me item and just this time. I change it up each time so I don't get bored. Maybe it's gonna be something like ice cream or biscotti or even popsicles in the summer. But here's the kicker. You wanna write that down on the list. Hold yourself accountable to buying only 1 item. If we don't write it down, we're gonna go too rogue in the grocery store, and then when we see something that we hadn't been thinking about that, oh my goodness, we love, we're gonna grab that. And then, oh, we love that too, we're gonna grab that one also. And before we know it, we're filling our house with foods that are not serving us health-wise. Now, before I give you my bonus, comment and share below with us, how do you save time? What are your health hacks? Share so we can bounce really great ideas off of each other. Now, bonus tip time. We just learned how to save time throughout this entire video so far, but here's how you can save money. When buying your produce, which are the vegetables and fruits, go for seasonal produce. Why? Because when you do this, you don't have to pay for the extra import and export costs that are added to the price of that produce when they're shipped from far away. Buying seasonally is definitely cheaper, and often the produce is gonna taste a lot better. One way you can hack yourself out of this is by buying produce in season and then freezing it. Something my family always did growing up is we went berry picking in the summer. It was a June activity. It would be blueberries or strawberries or blackberries, whatever we caught, and then we would collect them in bulk and put them in Ziploc bags in the freezer all winter long so we could make pancakes or smoothies with them whenever we wanted. That always saved a lot of money and it was way tastier. Okay, now we understand how to make the perfect grocery list for speedy grocery shopping. Well, it's time to dive into how to grocery shop the best way possible on the Mediterranean diet. You're gonna love this video. I'll see you over there.